Here right now with Mike Sokolowski from Torii Properties. Mike, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
Now, you guys, your team at Torii Properties, the technology is really changing the way buyers acquire real estate.
Correct.
And it's an app that you can download on your phone.
You can.
Simple process. How does it really change the game for the buyer?
So I think the buying process is antiquated in the sense that you need to go out and search for an agent, but also for every other person that's involved in your real estate transaction. So your lender, lawyer, insurance agent, inspector, all those people, the buyers like kind of finding on their own and having individual conversations with. So we're creating a platform and an ability to bring all of them together so that you can communicate to them in uniform fashion so that everybody knows when they're on the same page. Because there's a lot of drop-offs in the buying process.
Right. It's amazing coming from the lending side and doing it for almost 20 years that when you engage with a buyer for the first time, they know they're looking for a home.
Sure.
If they need a mortgage, they're looking for a rate. That's all that they really know. They don't realize that there's so much more that goes into it. And it sounds like Torii Properties, the app, ties in everything in one specific spot.
Exactly. And a huge part of it is, not only, so me as an agent will go out and search for the home and get an understanding of what you're after in terms of the home buying process. But also on the lending side, there's a lot of gap in between when you actually start maybe looking for a mortgage and what it's going to take to actually get a home, especially in a competitive market.
Right.
So a lender that we trust will be introduced, and then we'll not only get them a pre-approval, which is a basic overview of your documents, but something called a pre-commitment, where they're a stronger buyer, and we know, because just based from experience, we know that it takes that sort of strength to win a competitive situation when there's 5 or 6 offers out there.
And that makes a huge difference in a market like we're in right now.
Huge.
It is competitive, and definitely that fast track commitment can win you the deal.
Exactly, and we, why have 1 or 2 failed attempts at something when we've learned the lessons for you and can kind of fast track you to that, so you might be able to win the first offer.
Absolutely. Now let's go back to the app and the technology.
Sure.
What does it look like? It actually gives you like a gauge as you move through the transaction, almost like a checklist?
Yep, exactly. So we want to allow our, buyers as primarily like millennial, maybe first-time buyers, young couples, things like that, the similar sort of feel as other apps and other ways that they're purchasing other things. So when you go in the app, there's like almost a Tinder-looking swipe right, swipe left of houses that you might have searched for. That'll save into your favorites, so you're allowed to do that. You can schedule showings through that. You can even put in the offer technically, which is essentially will populate the documents you need to sign, and then I, as the broker, will then review them with you. So that all is contained within the app, and then all those other parties I talked about, the lender, the attorney, and all that, they need to be updated on the progress of the app, and so does the buyer. So they're getting essentially a passive look at what's happening without having to involve themselves or stress themselves out of the process.
Knowing that Torii Properties and the app are taking care of
exactly. Here's where you're at. You're okay.
Right.
We'll see you next week. Like that sort of, yeah.
So you guys will get into this in a second, cover buyers' costs, but there's also emotional costs that go into purchasing real estate. It sounds like this app eliminates a lot of those as well.
Yeah, the psychology aspect is still there. So we still play psychologist for things that might seem like they're tragic in one sense when we know the deal is going to be fine. So we still calm everybody down and do that. But the app can do that in part, and then we do that obviously as your agent. Go back.
No, so what's interesting that this piece of technology is more of a tool for the agent. There is still a human being that they can connect with. It's not just technology taking over the process completely, but it's more of a tool.
Correct. It would be taking me as an agent and creating the most efficient way to do a transaction. So anytime that we think of a bottleneck, for example, if I have to be in multiple places at once, or another agent of ours needs to be in multiple places at once, we have something called an open house checklist, where within the app, you can then go through the house and say, okay, I like this aspect of the house. Here's how I'd rate it on a 1 to 5 scale. And then there's a stain in the ceiling or something. Well, that's weird. Let me take a picture of that, put it in the app so that I can then review it with one of the Torii agents afterwards. And that way, we as agents don't have to be there. But if you are interested in the home, we of course will go check it out afterwards. But we don't have to go look at 10 different houses to find one,
Right.
If there are open houses.
Super cool. How do people connect? And is this just in Boston, Massachusetts?
We do essentially Eastern Mass, so from like Worcester in before the Cape, and then all the way up to New Hampshire. So we'll be able to cover all of that. You can download our app at Torii Real Estate in the App Store. TorieProperties.com is our website, so you can do either one.
Awesome. Soko, thanks
Awesome.
for stopping by.
Thanks, Chris.
And if you're looking for more real estate tips just like this, check out right here below on Boston.com.